Another lie we were told is that men are controlling us and they're using their strength against us, and we can't do what we want because of them, and that they're mean and hard and harsh. And just the way women should not use their gift of influence, men should not use their gift of overbearing strength.
Yeah, I love the way you weave the Lord into your messaging. I mean, it's not intentional; it just happens naturally with you, I would assume. But I looked at some of your podcasts, and what great titles! Explaining Revelation to your children, or helping your children understand the gospel better. It's just such a beautiful thing. How does a mother spread her Christianity throughout her children? And
well, the cool thing is, there was another one that I really liked. It was how to discipline with the character of God. That was a really fun one. But they're not all like that, because some of them are like what our men wish that we knew about them. And we talk about marriage, and and in the academy we have a Christian sex therapist that comes in and talks to us. And I'm very much lots of times. You'll have a podcast that I won't say Jesus. I don't know that there is one, though, honestly. It's just part of who I am, because it's the goodness of God that has given us what we have in our gender and in the design of marriage. Oh my goodness, the things that he has woven into the design of marriage. And the feminist movement just want to go to submission and all that stuff. I'm like, really? Do we have to talk about that? Like, what about all these other cool things that we have?
Yes.
And which obviously we do talk about that.
You have an inventory of lies that come out of the feminist world. Could you share some of those with us?
Yeah. Well, the very first one, and this doesn't surprise anybody, but maybe if you're Gen Z or Gen X, it would, that we don't need men. Yeah, a woman doesn't need a man. I just watched a meme on Instagram. And it was this older woman talking about never rely on anybody, especially a man, make your own money, do all this stuff, be in charge of your own life, all of that. It is an independence that I believe is ungodly. And it pulls people away from each other, which is a lie. What we don't want is we don't want our daughters to be codependent, right? We don't want our sons to be codependent. What we want is for everybody that is in a relationship to be interdependent. And interdependent is an equal partnership. It kind of flows, definitely, depending on who needs help when they need help. But it is a respectful, I'm here for you, I know you're here for me. And the feminist movement took that away from us, because they told us we didn't need anything. Gloria Steinem had a famous little quote. You'll see it everywhere. People will still see it without her name on it and think that's funny, but of course it's not funny to me. It says, a woman needs a man like a fish needs a bicycle.
Right, I've seen that one.
That was a really big thing. And I have to tell you, I said it too. Until I really started seeing, does this make sense to you? That we were mad at men, but we wanted to be like men. And then men were not necessary, but I'm sexually attracted to men. And I really like men. And I really want to be treated kindly. And it caused such confusion that why would a woman want to go out and be like a man in the world? No. I mean, why didn't they say, go out and be like a woman in the world? Now that would be more, quote, women's autonomy and all that other stuff. They didn't say that. They said, go be like a man and do men things.
Of course, Gloria Steinem is the biggest phony, pseudo-intellectual person around. She needed a fish with a bicycle when she married Mort Zuckerman, who owned U.S. News and World Reports, in order to save her little Ms. magazine, which wasn't doing too well and had no money. It was about to go bankrupt. So that's the kind of person we're talking about there. It's just so painful for a man. I mean, I hate to be like, again, kind of like, woe is me, victimhood. But I mean, what feminists have done to men is they've used their God-given feminine talents to destroy men. And
Yeah.
I don't know why they would do that. It doesn't benefit them in any way. It's like when you tear somebody down, that doesn't make you bigger. That makes you smaller, especially if they're part of your team or your spouse or something, or your brothers or your uncle or your father or whomever. And it's just, I can't fathom a rationale for it. I don't understand it in any way.
It's because they were trying to destroy our country. They wanted our country destroyed. In the litany that Kate Millett read, and they all read around that table when the Now organization was coming into being, there were the 12 women, and they were sitting there, and there's a litany of what they said and what they wanted, and that was their goals, and it will curl your toes, and they have accomplished almost every single one of them, and it is to destroy the American dream. It's to destroy our country. And we are on the way. But guess what? Mothers, women, fathers, men without that aren't married. When men and women stand up and become who they were created to be and love what they are created to be, then we have a chance, because the next generation will not know anything about this. They will be even more gaslit. And it is up to us to help them with that. And not just to help them with that so that, feminism gets its due, which I'd be happy, but because it's the way it's supposed to be. And it's so good and it's so wonderful. To be a woman is a wonderful thing. And to be a man.
I think men that love women and women that love men really have their heads screwed on right. Because when you get into all this other stuff about like, oh, I need to be more powerful than a man, or I need to be paid the same as a man, or whatever it is, it just clouds a situation that's meant to be beautiful by God.
Another lie we were told is that men are controlling us, and they're using their strength against us, and we can't do what we want because of them, and that they're mean and hard and harsh. And just the way women should not use their gift of influence, men should not use their gift of overbearing strength.
100%.
And so there's a huge teaching in that. And when I tell the women, they're like, oh, yeah, I like that. But here's my analogy for it. A woman is like soft on the outside. Women are soft. Not some women, all women. Just our collagen in our skin makes us soft. But if we're a good woman, we are strong on the inside. And I am soft, but I am powerful. I am powerful to make changes. I'm powerful to do what I need to do. I can grow a baby in my belly. I am powerful. But a man, he's so strong on the outside. He's strong. He can lift things. He can build bridges. But if he's a good man, he's soft on the inside.
He's an easy cry on the inside, yeah.
Yeah, but he's a good man. And so as a woman, we don't want to use the gift that God made us, that put in us, to be able to bless our men and help them and make them feel wonderful. We don't want to use that against them to make them feel bad. And that's the whole sadness of the feminist movement.
And it goes both ways. The men want to make the women feel wonderful, don't they? You have a saying about that. Instinctively,
we want to do this.
Yes.
And then we were told this big lie. But again, we're not seeing that with Gen X and Gen Zs. They don't have this, I am woman, hear me roar. They don't know about the boots that were made for walking. They don't know any of this. They only know what they've been taught in colleges and what they've been taught through the movies, the industry, oh my gosh, the entertainment industry, the way, and we don't even have time to get into the lie that the sexual revolution was good for women. It was bad for women. It produced all kinds of bad things. The pill was taken, and not that it is bad, but what it did was make women think there was no consequence for what they did. And you could hear people say, oh, well, you're supposed to date and make love like a man. I'm like, well, what does that mean? Like, I don't know what that means. I'm like, well, with whoever, and you have no consequences because you'll take the pill. And then if you do, get pregnant, then you could take an abortion. So that was not a good thing for women, because it left us with children, and our hearts broke, and we're wired differently. We're wired for bonding and connection.
Well, the
And
other
every
important
time
the other important
it works.
phrase that the millennials and the, oh gosh, I don't know where we are, Gen Z, alphas, whatever that are, I guess we start over again with alpha. I guess the phrase that they really will never know and really never understand is, "You come a long way, baby." And I
Yeah.
mean, that just tells women that the progress they've made since the suffragettes. And look, we come out of caves, and we come out of just, we've developed, and it's just, I think it's a learning process for both sexes, and it's not really that complicated. You make it all sound so easy, and I think it is. Feminism is complicated.
It is, and it's kind of aggressively angry. And most women, when we saw what we saw with the pink hats at President Trump's inauguration in 2016, that's when I knew, they're coming back full anger and rage.
Yeah, it's not a
And that
good
made
thing
me
to
really
see. That
sad.
was really disappointment. You've got a saying, or it's not really a saying, it's more like a maxim about what makes a man happy.
Oh my gosh, I meant to say that. Yeah, it's one of my favorite things. I love to do this. Whenever I have people around, or I have a bunch of moms in my kitchen. It's so fun to watch them want to do well, and want them to love their men. I just want to make him happy.
Yes.
And that's most women. We really do. We just need a couple mentors to say, don't go this way, go this way. I did this. Please don't do that. I say, do you know what your husband wants more than anything in the whole world?
What?
And they're like, yeah, I know. I'm like, oh, no, baby. Let me tell you, I've been married a long time. What your man wants to see more than anything in the world is to see you smile, and to know that he's the reason you're smiling. That's how you got him at the very beginning. Weren't you somewhere and you looked over and he was looking at you, and you gave him a smile, and he said, that's the girl. Now, my husband, I know this because this is what my husband told me. Men want to give women what they need. Oh, I wish I could just talk to women for hours about this. For my man to come in the door and shut that door and think, they can't get me in here. The world can't get me in here. My girl's here. My kids are here. My dogs are here. All my stuff's here. The world can't get me in here. I'm loved in here. I'm admired in here, and I'm special. I belong here. That's what a man should feel like. Maybe not every night, but certainly that's what he should feel like when he comes home, whether it's wherever you are his home. And so what does that feel like for him? And then on the men's side, sweetheart, she wants to feel safe. This is a scary world out here. We want to be strong, but we need strength, and we need the strength of a masculine man. And knowing that my husband will make sure that I'm safe is everything to me. And when I don't feel safe, even if I've had an argument with somebody or something, I'm like, I use the words so that he knows how I'm feeling. I didn't feel safe when that was happening.